Looking back, I've had about 2 moments in my life where I have felt like physically, like there is absolutely no possible way that I can do what I'm supposed to be doing. Surprisingly, neither of those have been when I've been pregnant. Although that's a whole different story for another time. But the first time I remember is when we were in Peru in 2010, we had this huge concert that we were doing. It was 2 nights in a row, and we had been preparing for months for this concert. And it was like a Friday night and a Saturday night concert. At this concert, there were thousands of people. I think we had like 8,000 to 12,000 over the course of the weekend. It was a huge event. We had a lot of people coming in from Michigan, all flying to Peru to do this concert. So again, a ton of preparation. And I remember we go to do like a stage blocking day. It was like the day before the concert. And we did the stage blocking day and everything went great. It was beautiful weather. Everything went good. And as we were walking back to our condo, I remember saying to myself, like, something's just kind of feeling off about my body. It was like this weird, just off feeling. It wasn't like I felt sick, just an off feeling. And I remember waking up the next morning, and I woke up and I like passed out in my bed and everything was just spinning. And it happened several times. I remember going up to my parents' bedroom, and as I was walking up the stairs to let them know like something's off, I passed out on the stairs. And then when I got to the bedroom, I passed out. I was like, I could not even stay awake. I just kept passing out. And I remember it was the day of the concert. I didn't get to do the dress rehearsal or anything. And I remember my dad coming down into my bedroom, and he looked at me and he's like, I don't care how you feel. You're going to get up and you're going to do this concert. You're going to rely on God's supernatural strength, because we didn't prepare all these months and spend all this money for you to get sick and not do this concert. So get up and do whatever you have to do. And I was just like, whoa, okay, we'll see how it's going to go. So I remember getting in the shower. Everything starts spinning and I passed out. I had a leave conditioner in my hair, ran back to the bed, passed out again. It was like 24 hours of me just passing out, never figuring out what was wrong, or in a different country, all that to say. And I remember my mom did my hair and my makeup, and I got ready, and I just remember sitting like in the dressing room, like just shivering and just like not feeling good. And I was just like, all right, Lord, like you have got to do this for me, Lord. I know that you have to just cover me in this situation. And I walked out on stage, did the whole concert, and it was as if nothing had ever happened before. Like the days were just totally fine before. And I just remember in that moment, that was the first moment in my life where I really physically had to rely on God's supernatural strength to get me through. It just happened to me about 2 weekends ago. Actually, last weekend, the same sort of thing happened where I physically felt like I'm not going to be able to do this. And I in my natural state, I wanted to like cancel. I wanted to call someone else and be like, I need you to speak for me because I'm just not going to be able to physically do this. And I was reminded of Peru, like you just got to do it. You just buckle down. And God's supernatural strength got me through again. And it started reminding me of, I know a lot of us, it might not be necessarily ministry. It might just be life where you're feeling like I physically just can't get through this. Maybe it's mental for you. Maybe it's physical for you. Maybe you have this sort of anxiety or something that's sweeping over your body where you're just at the point where like, I can't do this. You have got to rely on God's supernatural strength. And it reminds me of a scripture in Exodus 16 where it says, the children of Israel said to them, oh, that we had died by the hand of the Lord in the land of Egypt, when we sat by the pots of meat and we were able to eat bread to the full. For you have brought us into this wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger. They got to a place when they were in the wilderness where they were like, oh, that we would have just died as slaves in Egypt, whether it because they were hungry or whether it was because they were thirsty, whatever it was, they got to this physical place where they said it would have been better to die as slaves than to walk by faith through the wilderness going into the promised land. And I think as we walk this walk of faith where there's going to be questions and there's going to be doubt and you're physically going to be exhausted, maybe you're mentally going to be exhausted, or maybe you're spiritually going to be exhausted. But you have to remember the times that God has constantly proved himself faithful to you. And whatever it is that you have need of, know that God is there to provide that for you, to get you through and get you through those situations. Because the children of Israel, when they were hungry, God gave them manna. When they were thirsty, God gave them water from the rock. God was constantly providing for them the fire, by night and the cloud by day. He constantly gave them everything that they had need of, yet they got exhausted. So it's in those moments that you have to remind yourself, God has given me everything that I have need of. So if I feel like I'm a little bit questioning whether or not life can go on, I want to challenge you to really live by God's supernatural strength and know that He is always going to get you through.